can come in and buy something, or does that mean just the mayor can? What controls are in place? Are there any? There used to be some, I don't know if there are any currently, and that's why I'm asking the question as part of the purchasing. And if there are, how many people have authorization to access those accounts? And if so, if it's excessive, is it a violation of the purchasing laws?
This was a major source of fraud in San Francisco.
Well, we had a little fun with it down here too, Bob, so let's just leave it at that for now.
So, okay, so purchasing policy, we did test the transaction this year, but we'll follow up with the open account. And then going back to the credit cards, currently there is a policy as part of in your purchasing policy. There's a section in the purchasing policy that is related to, actually I have it written down somewhere here, that is related to the credit card purchase. It was in section 3.16.0. So during our testing, we pulled a few procurement cost transaction, and then we followed through with it.
Well, it was also, when we put in the credit card policy, there was a dual sign-off process. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was put in with the finance and the city manager. We had a city manager here, we didn't even know what a check register, what he was signing off on.
That still exists.
Yeah, well, it's what changed, I'm just asking, were these things done? That's, you know, I'm not pointing a finger at anything going on, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there's a reason for these questions.
Yeah, and the process is I review it, he reviews it,
Right.
so there's the dual.
I just want to make sure that was in place, and again, my query about the number of credit cards, there were 15 or 16 at one time. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry could charge in this town, and we reduced it, I believe, to 5, and put certain limits, and is that still in place?
Yeah, that we need to follow up with. I don't know if, you know, how many.
Because this is an easy area for creep, I can assure you.
Okay, in terms of the park use, so let me make sure that we understand your concern. So this is a, like a event rental.
Right, we have a private park here in town, which used to have event rentals. Pardon me?
Public park.
Well, but it's a private park for the town, it's our park, okay, but it's public. It's in the city of Atherton, so it's our town.
Open in the public.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we used to have, you know, rental events and all kind of things going on over there. And then at one time, we closed it down, as I recall, and carry on with it on, and stopped doing that. Just recently, we reopened the park to events and back to catering and having weddings and so on, which is great. I just want to make sure that the county controls are in place. And what happens to cash? Let's say I walk in and I say to you, Grace, I want to rent the venue, and you say, well, it's going to be $100. I put $100 out of my pocket and give it to you. What happens? Do I get a receipt? How's it done?
So this is run by.
And who's in charge of it, and who's to report to?
Well, and it's part of our cash policy, our cash receipts, our cash collection sites, and they do test our cash collection
Right, but
sites.
there's other things that go on over there, Robin. I just want to know, since we reopened this, what's in place this time? Because what's in place last time didn't work.
Right.
It wasn't just a cash area.
And last time it was all done at the park. Here, it's done here at City Hall.
Well, again, I don't know, that's why I'm asking, I think it needs to be looked at.
No, and
It's
I
a new,
understand
we started a new thing at the park, I just want to know what the policies are.
that. Right.
Are there any?
Okay, so, and it may be a private conversation that we have to have, because
If you turn off the camera, I'll be glad to tell you what I know.
Because the immediate, because I'm kind of with Robert, like, immediately, you know, as the auditor goes, he's like, okay, well, we're gonna follow the cash, but it sounds like maybe there are other issues that are there, and I'm not sure if.
Right now, I don't know if there are any issues. I'm saying, is there a policy in place? What happened in history happened. I just want to know what is in place now.
Does the Brown Act permit the audit committee to kind of go into executive session or something? If you raise a question like this, does this have to become you know, a public accusation that,
Right, there's no accusations on anybody.
I think it's just, it's pretty simple. We have historically had some errors and mistakes. We have cleaned up these errors and mistakes, and Jim wants to make sure that the way that we run the park related to events is done appropriately, and that somebody at the park isn't taking funds that technically would